Isabella's a very interesting character. The play was performed in a Puritan London, a city in which the Puritans were gaining ground every day and eventually would become so strong that they stopped the whole way of life that Shakespeare knew and closed the theatres, and that huge cut effectively in the arts was never made good again after the theatres reopened. It was a totally new world, a totally new theatre, a totally new order that came back to the theatres after Cromwell. But anyway, so it's this Puritan London, but it's written very carefully about Vienna, which is a Catholic city, and Isabella's a nun. She's a novice, so she's just entering into her orders. And in her very first line, she asks for, she says, are these disciplinary rules stringent enough? Couldn't I do something harder, a bit more painful? And she obviously wants to feel restrictions. She wants to be ruled. She wants to be punished, really, in a way. We might ask ourselves what for. She has an undeniably intense spiritual life, which is quite mysterious, but it's very unyielding, and it builds to the moment when she says, more than our brother is our chastity, that she's prepared to sacrifice her brother's life for her chastity. So people can today argue for and against that. It's an extraordinary position. It's not uninteresting, and I don't think it's got anything to do with times gone by. People are doing extraordinary things today for religious principles. Anyway, she lives in a world where her brother actually comes out with a central line in the play, which is, "Why give you me this shame?" Shame is a great word at the heart of Measure for Measure. And we're reminded that governments use shame, families use shame, priests use shame. Shame is an incredibly useful tool to discipline people. And shame echoes around the heart of the play. But she manages to somehow change, I think, in a way, through the play. She discovers she's dragged by this outrageous character Lucio to into the prison, and she sees the terrible, seamy side of life. She realises just how corrupt authority can be, and she has to learn a lot. And at the end of the play, somehow she's going to get married. We don't know whether she wants to or not. Shakespeare carefully doesn't give her any lines, but we feel in Isabella a kind of eroticism, in a way, towards her own religion, when she says to Angelo that rather than yield up her virgin honour, she says, "The pressure of keen whips I'd wear as rubies." It's a very sensual idea of having a kind of erotic relationship with herself being whipped. I wouldn't want to make too much about sort of flagellation, but there's still some sense that she's drawn to the pain, that she's very frightened of certain aspects of life.